Hello children, how are you all doing today? Today I am going to tell you a beautiful story. You know what it is? It is the magical story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And this time, children, I have come up with this picture book and I am going to tell you the story showing you the pictures as well. Isn't it interesting? So, shall we start? Okay. So, this is the story of Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Long time ago, there lived a beautiful little princess. Her name was Snow White. Snow White was very beautiful. Her skin was as fair as snow, and her hair was as black as ebony wood, and her lips were red as a real red rose. She was so beautiful. And when she was a child, her mother passed away, and as she grew, her father, the king, also passed away. So she had to live with her with stepmother, the queen. The queen was also beautiful, but the queen was very curious about her beauty. So the queen had a magical mirror. Every day, the queen used to go and stand in front of the magical mirror and ask the mirror, "Mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the mirror used to respond, "Oh, my queen, you are the fairest of them all." Then the queen used to feel happy. But as Snow White grew, she became beautiful, more and more beautiful. So the queen was very jealous of Snow White, and so she made her a maid in the palace. One day, as usual, the queen went to the mirror and asked the mirror, "Mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror replied this time, but little differently. You know what did the mirror say? It said, "Oh, my queen, you are fairer, but the pretty maid I see by the well is fairer than you." By listening these words, the queen became very furious. At the same time, Snow White was singing a beautiful song beside the castle well, and a prince who was going from that side stopped to listen to the song. And Snow White and the prince looked at each other and they fell in love. The queen, out of her jealousy towards the Snow White, wanted to kill her. So she called the huntsman and told him, "Go, take Snow White to the forest and kill her. Bring back her heart to prove that she is dead." Saying this, she sent Snow White along with the huntsman to the forest. The huntsman could not kill Snow White. So what did he say? "My little girl, hide yourself somewhere in the forest." And so he killed an animal and took its heart to prove that Snow White is dead. Snow White wandered all the day in the forest. She was little scared of the animals, but they became her friends. As night fell, the animals took Snow White to a small little cottage. And she knocked the door, but nobody opened. So she pushed the door and went inside. There she saw seven little dusty chairs with seven little small dirty bowls on the table. And then she went inside still. She found seven tiny unmade beds there. She thought this cottage must be belonging to some little children. "I may clean this for them," she thought to herself, and she cleaned the entire cottage with the help of her forest animals. And then she was so tired, so she slept on one of the beds. As night fell, children, to whom does the cottage belong? It belonged to seven little dwarfs. And these dwarfs, as night fell, they came home from their work. And you know what do they sing whenever they come home? "Hey ho, it's homework, it's home from work we go. Hey yo, it's home from work we go." Saying this, they walked to their little cottage. As they opened the door of the cottage, they were surprised. What's wrong today? There must be some intruder here. They were amazed to see that the cottage was so clean and tidy. They went inside the bedroom and saw Snow White sleeping on the bed. All of them surrounded Snow White and she got up. She got a little scared first when she saw them. But again, she introduced herself to them saying that she is Snow White. And the seven little dwarfs also introduced themselves to Snow White saying that I'm dark, I'm grumpy, I'm bashful, I'm sleepy, I'm teasy, I'm happy, and he's Toppy. Saying this, they introduced themselves to Snow White. And she told them, if you let me stay in this cottage along with you, I'll clean it for you, I'll cook for you, and do everything for you. And they agreed. And all of them merrily danced with happy and laughter. As days passed by, Snow White was happy with the dwarfs. But the queen, once again, she went to the mirror and asked the mirror, Mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? And the mirror replied, you know what? Snow White, who dwells with the seven dwarfs in the little cottage, is the fairest one of all. This time the queen was very angry. Then she understood that the huntsman did not kill Snow White. So she thought of completely getting rid of Snow White this time. So what did she do, you know, children? She disguised herself as a peddler woman. And she had a magical spell. She poisoned an apple and took it to the forest. She thought to herself, let Snow White eat a bit of this apple and she'll sleep forever as if she is dead. And the spell can be broken, only a true love can kiss her. Saying this to herself, she walked to the forest. And in the morning, after the seven little dwarfs left to work, the queen, disguised herself as a peddler woman, came to Snow White and said, my pretty maid, why don't you have this apple? Snow White was very innocent, so she took the apple from the wicked queen and she had a bite. As soon as she had a bite of that apple, she fell on the floor as if she is dead. The little forest animals who were Snow White's friends got scared of this and they ran to the mines to tell the seven little dwarfs that what has happened. And the seven little dwarfs came running, and on the way they saw the wicked queen disguised herself as a peddler woman, and they fought with her, and she tried to throw big stones from the top of the mountain onto them, but accidentally she fell off the mountain and was never seen again. And these seven little dwarfs went home and saw Snow White lying on the floor as if she is dead. They were so unhappy. So they took her to the forest, they laid a bed over there and they kept Snow White's body on that. And every day they used to come and see, and Snow White's body is now covered with leaves, flowers. Seasons have passed, but Snow White is still lying down on the bed. And one day, you know what happened, children? The prince who saw Snow White beside the castle well was passing that way. He saw Snow White lying on the bed, so he stopped. He immediately got down from his horse and came and kissed Snow White. You know, the magical spell of the wicked queen was broken, and Snow White got up from her sleep. And the prince was very happy, and even the little dwarfs were very happy. And the prince married Snow White and took her to his palace. And the dwarfs were happy for Snow White and the prince. And Snow White lived happily ever after. So, this is the story of Snow White and the seven little dwarfs, my children. Did you enjoy the story? Is it right? Very good. See you next time with another beautiful story. Till then, bye-bye.